just taking some blue paint or brown or anything at all, and decide where you want your land. So the sky and then the foreground. So I'm just going to make a little bit of a crookedy, there we go, sky on first. So I'm going to start off with some blue, and then I'm going to put my moon on after. That's the way I find it easier, especially when I'm doing videos. Like, I mean, I could sit down for hours and hours playing around with a painting, which I love to do also. But when I'm doing videos, I try to get as much done as I can in a short period of time, so I don't have a big long video to put up for you, because you want to learn the techniques, simple techniques, and you want to learn easier ways to paint. Now my paint is sticking a little bit, so I might add a little bit of my magic white. So what I did was I added water to my spray bottle. It's a misting bottle, and I used my magic white recipe, and I mixed two of them together, about half and half, and I'm going to mist it rather than put it on by brush. And I'm going to put a video up on how to do all this. I have other ideas to help you blend your paints, but now this will keep it wet, but not as long as if you put it on thicker, you know what I mean? So this is just misting it with magic white and water. So see how much easier that is. Look, see, before I was using a lot of paint trying to keep the paint wet, but now look, it's perfect, see? And yeah, so I'm going to do a video on, you know, how to blend your paints and how to do different things, different ways. Something like this too, right? You know, look, see, that's just blending perfectly there, and I don't need as much paint. See, look at that. Isn't that amazing? That is really, I don't know, just love it. Yeah, so magic white, put it in your bottle, a spray bottle, a misting bottle. Mix it with water, because you don't want it to stay wet too long for some cases, so you just want it enough to spread your paint. Now you might say, well, why don't you just use water and mist it with water? You can, but it doesn't last as long, so you have to keep misting and misting, and then your paints end up too thin. They almost become transparent if you use too much. So this way you get to use your magic white, but thinned out more water, see? Look how pretty that came out. Look at that, isn't that nice? I'm going to put a big moon on there. And I'm going to darken up the bottom of that blue just to give it a more of a nighttime look. I'm just going to take my ultramarine blue, darken it up down here a little bit. Now when that dries, because now see, that's still wet. I mean, look, you can still blend, and so I'm going to let that dry a little bit first. And then, now if you're in a hurry to let it dry, use a hair dryer, okay? But fantastic for blending. All right, and fantastic for working for long periods of time. I decided to use a bristle brush also. As you can see, the brush is, it's a size 8. So, you know, you have to judge your brushes. A lot of times you say, how big are your brushes? Well, judge your, I can tell you what I'm using, but you could be using a huge canvas like this one here, right? This one here is like 20 by, I don't know, 20 by 24 or something. So, you know, depending on how big your canvas is, that's how big your brush is going to be. So I'm going to put some grass down here while we're waiting for the top part to dry. I could use a hair dryer, but this gives me an excuse to move on different places. I like moving around different places. So I'm going to make my own green. I'm going to use ultramarine blue and yellow to make my green. And I want a nice dark green. So I'm going to add a little bit of burnt umber and a little bit of red. See, nice and dark. I don't want too blue. Just get some more yellow in there. Okay. Now I didn't spray the bottom part with the magic white because I don't need to really down here, because they're splattering on some paint. And I should say we're stippling. You can call this stippling or tap, tap, tap. That's what I always say. Tap, tap, tap. So I want to keep this a bit dark. So I'm just mixing my burnt umber and my blue and yellow to make green. And getting a really nice texture. You can see the texture there. Look at that. Isn't that nice? See that texture? All right. Let's keep it going. If you add red to your green, it gives it a nice earthy look. Not too much red. I'm just changing up colors a little bit here, just so I can get some different colors in my grass. When that dries, then I'm going to add more colors and more shadows, more highlights. Don't forget, shadows and highlights are very important for realism. If you want to make your paintings more realistic, you have to look at your values and the shadows, highlights, midtones. I've got videos on all this, and I got podcasts on everything that I talk about, okay? So that way you'll be able to, if you're not interested in watching anything visual right away and you want to just relax, and I also have podcasts, so I will leave some links to my podcasts so you can have a listen to. I have a lot of tips and tricks that I don't have on videos. Well, eventually I hope to, because I think visual, you really need to see things visually too. Now when that dries, we'll darken that up down in the bottom there. So that's the grassy area. That's good. Now we got the sky and the grassy area started. I want to give you a tip, and if your water gets really dirty, okay, if your water gets really dirty, you should change your water, you know, frequently, but you know, enough to, when it starts to change, you're better off cleaning it, because all you're going to get is a dirty brush. And then what's happening is when you try to put on white or you put on something, it's going to pick up the dirty water, and then you're not going to get that really beautiful white. So I would say if you're doing all darks, you can leave the water dirty. It's not too bad, right? But once you start going into the light sections, like, you know, your bright moon and your highlights, clean the water. Another way you can do it is you're going to have 2 jars of water. One for when you're painting with darks, and one for when you're painting with lights. So get something round and put it on here, and then you get your chalk. You go round, 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 and round, and round. And then you got a really nice little round circle to get started. Good. I use a flat chiseled edge brush, okay? See how nice and thin that is? So you can get around lines. So you can use a Filbert. You can use a flat brush, anything that is flat and chiseled edge. Bristle won't do it, okay? So we'll just take our paint. I'm just going to take white, and I'm going to paint that in. All right. See some of that blue sky coming through there? That's nice, actually. You can leave that and then put some highlights of white on it. I kind of like that. Okay. And then when you, because we use chalk, when you're happy with your moon, and you get it all done, you can wipe your chalk lines away with a damp brush, all right? Sky a little bit on the bottom here. Some blue, ultramarine blue. Nice. See, because it's dry now, you can add that on there. Good. Nice and dark. Now I want that nice and dark, so I'm going to add a little bit of black to it. A little bit of black. And mist it with water. You don't want the blending gel right now. I'm sorry. So mist it and just with water. And that will get it to move better. Okay, so we're going to come up here and we're going to, so I really want it dark around the moon so I can start lightening up to a nice light blue so that I can go back to what I had here. So I want to blend these two colors together. Okay, see that? This is a good way to show you how to blend. Alright, so paint blends really well when you have paint, wet on wet. Look how nice that is, see? Let me just bring that right up around the moon. Adding some light blue, only because I want to try and match it up with the top one. Now you can do all this before you put your moon on. Okay, I just wanted to show you how you can blend and how things can work out. So just blend those two colors together there. As long as your paint is wet, you'll be fine. I got a nice dark. I wanted to make it darker at the bottom. Now I'm going to darken up this area here with some green. Dark green and a little bit of black will help really darken it up, okay? See if we can get that nice and dark down here. That's pretty, look at that. Alright, nice dark green. Got a little bit of burnt umber to it, a little bit of red. That'll really make it nice and dark, look at that. Now you can do that in the beginning if you get that nice dark color. So just keep putting on your grass. You might say, well, why didn't you do that in the beginning? Well, sometimes when you do things, they don't turn out the way you want them to. And as you can see, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit up here and I get more into the greenish color. Add more yellow, that's all. Just add more yellow to your dark color, see? That will brighten it up a bit for you. Okay, that looks better, doesn't it? Just tap down into the dark just to get that transition. You certainly don't want to have these lines. So at least today you're learning how to make transitions of color, how to blend. I mean, there's so many things you can learn in a painting besides just making a Halloween painting, you know what I mean? Like, you can learn how to do all kinds of things, right? What brushes to use. So every painting that I do, I try to add a lot of techniques so you can learn, because you can use them in other paintings too, don't forget. So there we go, we'll leave that for now. That looks better, doesn't it? That's much better. So I'm going to make a big old tree over here and go across the moon. No Halloween painting would be the same without it. I'm adding some black and burnt umber. Don't want to be pure black, and I'm using my chiseled edge brush. And I'm using the chisel edge to get that tree. I want to decide where I want my tree. Put a tree here. Come over on the moon. It should be dry now, so try to make sure it's dry. At least you got that done, see? And we can go over and fix that, you know, like make it thicker and everything, but I want to get this done first. So let's go and do another one. You can even join two of them up and just come off of there. And another one there. Use the chiseled edge, and we're going to make thinner lines. We'll start using thinner lines on that now in a little while. Okay. Maybe a little fence coming down there, maybe going back here. Just make it up as you go along. Okay? Just make it up as you go along and have some fun. Like it's going off in the wilderness somewhere, I don't know. I don't know, and then we'll have something there on that tree, maybe a little owl or something. And we'll have our pumpkin here, so let's see what we can do with that. So I'm just going to, before I put my pumpkin on, just letting that dry there, I'm just going to get my brown and black with my liner brush. I'm going to make those thinner lines that I said I was going to do. I'll clean that up here. And then I'm going Okay, so let's draw with some chalk, get some idea where we want our pumpkin. So we'll just take, I'm going to dent it there, just to get some idea of where I want the stalk. And then I'm just going to make a circle, come down. I want to go all the way to the bottom. And there. So I got that started. Now I'm going to make the pumpkin, I want to make it a darker color than orange. I will be putting orange highlights on it, but I just like to get something different. So I'm just going to put a brownish color on there, would you believe? So we're just going to fill it all in with kind of a brownish color. I'm using burnt umber with a little bit of white. All right. Now that'll shape up now when you start adding the highlights and the mid-tones, you know, the different values of color, the different values. You need at least 3 values, okay? We're putting on our darkest value now, and if it's not dark enough, just add a little bit of black to your burnt umber. Should be dark enough as it is. Just make sure your paint underneath is dry so that it won't mix with it and then it'll change the color on you. All right. Okay, so let's keep putting the burnt umber on. That's good. And when that dries, we'll put some eyes and nose and mouth in there. Now, that's dry. So now you can use some yellow chalk. I find yellow is good because it's really bright. And I think we will decide what kind of eyes you want. So you can make a scary face or you can make a happy face, whatever you want to do, okay? So I'm just going to put in 2 triangles. You can make whatever you want. And a little nose for a triangle nose. And big mouth. So let's see. Straight over and up. And then we come down again underneath here. And then we come back up to meet that one. And we'll come back up to meet that one. Now, it gives it a little bit of a, I don't know, different look. Good. Now what you're going to do is you're going to paint those eyes and mouth and nose white because the background is so dark. You're going to need to brighten these up. Now you could have did that before you put on your brown, but trying to work around that is kind of too tedious. So let's go with the white and just paint that in white, okay? And then we'll have yellow eyes, if you want yellow eyes or whatever color you're going to put in there. It'll come out nice and bright once it dries, okay? See how the brown is coming through there? But the white will help brighten it up. So anytime you got a dark background, and you're putting, you need a light color to go over the dark background, just do white first. So now make sure your white is dry before you put your yellow on, and add a bit of white to your yellow to make it more opaque, because yellow is pretty transparent. Now you can do a second or third coat on that if you like. I'll let that dry and then maybe I'll do another coat. While I'm waiting, I am going to try and do something with the pumpkin. I'm going to take a smaller flat brush and I'm going to put a little stalk on there. Okay, and so I'm going to take green. I'm going to make my own green with some yellow and blue. I just love the way the ultramarine blue and the cad yellow gives these gorgeous greens. I don't even think you can get it out of a bottle. And I'm going to take some chalk first, and I'm going to draw what way I want my stalk, and that way I'll be able to know how big I want it and stuff. So right now I'm just going to take a guess at it. I'm just going to make a hook like that. I'm going to come outside because that's too small if I go inside, and I'm going to take it from here and out and a little bit thicker on the end here. All right, so that's my stalk, and I'm going to fill it in with green. Might shape it up a little better. I like to have it a little thicker in this part here. There we go. Nice dark green for now because we want to do some highlighting on there. There we go. Nice. I'm going to use a little bit of a bigger brush here. And this is flat chiseled edge, and I'm going to, what am I going to do? Let me see. I'm going to take because it's got brownish tones to it, I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to add some white. Just for highlight, okay? And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to highlight this little bit up here. So I'm just going to make a little bit here, a little bit here. Leave some shadow in between there. Okay, so I'm just going to separate those two. I'm going to make a bigger one here. So make sure you leave separations of color there, the dark, so that you can see these nice highlights. And maybe another one here, another one here. Okay, so that's your highlights. And then we'll play with those till we get them the way we want them. So I'm just going to drag them down a bit. Very lightly. I don't want it to take over my whole pumpkin or anything. Alright. I'm going to add a little bit of red and yellow on that in a minute, just to give it a more of an orangey look. I'm going to bring that down here, over closer to the eye, and probably this one might go around the eye area. Okay. Now you can do this with the red and yellow now, Okay, I experiment. I'm bad for that. I just like to try things out. If I don't like it, I'll get rid of it. You know? So I want to see what this looks like before I decide. So let's see, that looks nice so far. It's coming along. So now I'm going to try orangey color. And then if you want to, you can start with the orangey color instead of this brown. This is just I just want to get a highlight there just so I can see the shapes that I wanted. So let's take our yellow and our red. A little bit of orangey color, a little bit of burnt umber, just to tone it down a bit. So I don't really want to go too bright yet, so I may not like it. So just follow what you already did. And that will brighten up the edges there. You can even go with a bit more red if you want. Whatever you think will work for you. And see what colors I'm using. You may not like these colors, you know? So you decide on the colors yourself what you want to use. You might want to make this into a bright orange, a full bright orange pumpkin, right? I'm just playing around with some colors. Alright, so try not to have too much paint on your brush. I can see I had a little bit too much, but let's see. I'm just going to follow what I got down here. So the brown is like an underpainting. Get some light on the side from the moon. Always decide where your light is, okay? Try to remember where your light is. That will give you some realism. Now, I'm going to clean off my brush. I'm just going to wipe it off in my tissue. And whatever's left over on my brush, I'm just going to scrub it down here. And if your paint is still wet, that will help smooth it out more. That will, you know, helps. Okay. It's a little bit of a different technique, but it's nice to learn all kinds of techniques. Nothing wrong with that. Right? It's different, isn't it? A little bit more color, and then I'll wipe it off my tissue. If you run out, just go back and get some more, but just wipe it off your tissue. Good. Doing highlights, you don't need a lot of paint, but when you're doing a big sky and you're trying to get everything to mix together, you need a lot of paint, okay? So big areas, lots of paint. Small areas, small details, less paint. Same with your brushes. You need a bigger brush for large area and a smaller brush for smaller details. Just if you can remember that kind of stuff, it really helps. Then you don't have to guess, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay. I'm going to pick up some yellow with some white. I'm trying to get the highlights nice and bright now, because that moon is really shining on there, see? That moon is really shining there. So I'm going to get some white this time. Wipe it off on my dirty brush. I'm going to get a little bit of a really nice highlight over here. So I kept doing highlights until I was happy with them. But I started off with a darker highlight, then I worked my way up to a medium and then a light. Highlight light. and I noticed that I left out the teeth. So I'll put that in a little while. Now see, that's nice and bright. Now just add a little bit of red to your yellow mixture. And you get a little bit of an orangey color. And then you're going to just lay that in the corner here, just so that we can have another value of color to give it a little more of a depth. Okay. There we go, just a little enough to give it a little more depth instead of just a flat yellow. Whoops. I went outside lines. Oh my goodness. And a little bit of orange. Just put on a little bit just to give it that, instead of having a flat yellow, you know. See, isn't that nice? Now I'm going to clean off my brush. Just cleaning off my brush. Some paper towel. That's pretty messy. Oh, all right. So because the paint is still wet, so we're working on wet. So when I put that yellow and white on there, I add a little bit of white to my yellow. Then I left it still wet, so now I can blend this so that it looks blended and it's not just a line. See how that sharp line is there? We don't want that. We want to make it look kind of transition the colors into each other by having wet on wet. Both the paints are wet, so you can easily, very easily blend them. As long as they're wet, you're doing good. See, that looks much better, doesn't it? And you still want a brighter yellow, you can always add a bit of white to what you did. I mean, you know, like, so you can, depends on what you want to do. So just add a little bit of a lighter color. Just add a little bit of white because it's still a bit wet, so it won't go completely white. I don't want to lose my orange there. So I'll wipe off my tissue, to wipe off my brush, and just kind of go in there a little bit, okay? Love blending. And a little bit down here. See, all these little tips and tricks, it helps, you know? All these little things that you do, these little details, they really help a lot. Now, I like that. Now this up here, that's chalk. So we're going to get rid of that chalk just so we can put on our highlight. Okay, so we got chalk marks. Just get a damp brush, just whatever brush you want to use. I'm just using this one here. You can use a small flat brush if you want. See? There might be some chalk marks here, but I'm going to wait for it to completely dry. It's dry out here. I don't think there's any more chalk marks here. Okay. Just use your flat brush and get some green color and some yellow and some white to really brighten it up. So green is your base color. Lighten it up with some yellow and lighten up even more with some white. How's that? But you want a little bit of green in there because the leaf is green, so you want to keep it might be darker down there because that's behind, so we'll think that that's a bit darker there. Sometimes you have to think about where the light might be. It's important. It helps a lot when you know where you want to put the lights because it makes it more realistic when you got 2 or 3 values. In this case I'm going to spread that down in here, so I'm going to try and get 3 values. So I got my dark, which is that dark green, and I'm going to spread that down a bit so I can get a medium a medium value of my green. Don't want to lose my dark one altogether, so I'm going to wipe off my brush really good. And then I'm going to scrub at that edge there. If I lose my dark, I can just put it back in. Nice dark green to go back in here, see? So I'm trying to get 3 values of green, okay? So that's my dark green. And then I'll wipe that off. And then I will, because I want, every time you put on a layer, you don't want it to be a sharp line like that, unless you do. I mean, you can certainly leave it if you wanted to. But I like softening up my lines, so I just scrub at that. And that will blend that in with, see? That will blend that in with the rest. And then I got medium there. And then I got my highlights. So see how that gives them a better, I'll get my highlight going again. Green, yellow, and white. And get that at the edge here. Okay. A little more yellow and white. Want it nice and bright because we got the moon shining on it. So we want it to really stand out. Right, there it is. Right on that edge there. I'm using the corner of my brush because I want to use the whole brush. I'm a little bit too much. So then I'm going to just scrub at that a little bit just to soften it up a small bit. Okay. So there we go. That looks pretty nice, doesn't it? Soften it up. Soft, soft, soft. I get a lot of people say, how do I soften up my paintings? I get, you know, and what they're really talking about is the edges, the hard edges. And then when you paint on the edges and blend them in with the other color, you're going to get those soft edges. See how nice and soft that is? Isn't that pretty? So that's how you do that. A little more highlight. I'm going to go with white just to really brighten it up there on the edge. A little bit here. I love highlights because they really bring your painting out, to make them stand out, you know. Really gives it a nice finishing touch look. So this tutorial is not only about painting a Halloween painting or pumpkins. This is about a lot of things. Okay, it's about mostly about, you know, getting your colors blending when I'm wet. All kinds of things. I really like that nice light color up here. It's a white. While we're doing highlights, let's do some on the moon shining down on this grass, on the fence. So let's do some highlights on the grass. So get some yellow. And get some white, get some green and some yellow and a little bit of white maybe. Depends on how bright you want your highlight on the grass there. So we say the grass is here. We're going to really brighten it up, okay? Right now it's just getting started. Pull up a few green grasses. Just going to work my way down a little bit just to see. Might be a little bit of light going back here. Don't know for sure, but we'll find out. It's your imagination, so you can have whatever way you want. Okay, so nice little bits of green. I want to leave the bottom still dark, but I'm picking up some of these little bits of white, which is kind of nice. Just so it stands out a bit more. You don't want it to be a flat, dark green, but just a little bit more. This time we will add some white and yellow to our green, just to get it really bright. Swatch. But see, don't lose what I just did, okay? Now you go on top of that. I'm using a bristle brush. See how nice and bright that is now? A little bit down here. Not too much. I'm going to pull up a few just to get as if it's grass going there. So I'm not really going to just try to get some lights. That's as light as I want to go there. So we'll tap up here, get our lights, and then we will, whatever's left over on our brush, start tapping a little bit down here. Right? Just see, as you can see, then you can see that there's some grass down there, but you can't really see a lot of it. So, because we want to keep that dark down there, keep it nice and mysterious, right? But you still want to know that, oh, there's grass down here. Okay. We'll put some underneath the chin, but you can see it, see? And I'm going to get a liner brush, and I'm going to put some little bits of grass. I'm going to run through my green and my yellow and my white. Just put little bits of grass going up here by that tree. A bit more green than that, that's kind of white. There we go. All right. Now it's behind the tree, so I'm going to make sure. Let's see, we get this much first. Kind of like that idea of a bit of grass coming up through here. Just little bits. This here is too bright, okay? I don't like that. So I'm going to get my green. And I'm going to go through that again. Tone it down. There we go. Yeah, I didn't like that. It's a bit better. A bit better, I'm not sure. What do you think? I'm just darkening it up a bit more there now. All right. I think I'm happy with that. It's kind of different. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to add a bit of green and yellow and dark green, and I'm going to add some grass down here in front of it. I'm adding a little bit of red just for some color. It kind of adds a nice little touch to it, doesn't it? I'm pulling it over to the left and over to the right. You can do that too, or just pull it to the left if you want. It's okay to have that in the face. That's quite cute, the red, isn't it? Now for here, we've got the light going on there, so I would say use your small flat brush and add some highlight to the fence. I'm just going to use probably some blue and white. Oh, not green. Some blue. So some blue and white. Nice light blue. And I'm going to add that right on top of the fence. See how nice that is? And now we'll do the sides of these here. See, it looks so much better, doesn't it? Good. And I think we have some here. That looks pretty good. All right, now you can also add some highlight to the edge of the tree. You can use the same color if you like. Good. Good, good, good. So I'm going to take my liner brush and I'm going to add some more twigs to the tree. Because as you can see, I'm using black. Some of it is not black enough. So I'm just going to blacken. You can use your flat brush if you like. It might be faster than this little liner brush. And I'm just going to come over here and little twirly thing there. Just so cute. So I just want to. So just put a bit of green on your liner brush and a bit of white, and then we'll just more white than green, I think, and then we'll just go over those and just have them there for, I don't know, just because they're cute. Just follow the line. There we go. Take a little piece off of there just to give it some looks. Give it a cute little look. Same with here. Almost like a little leaf on it or something. That's cute. Let's get rid of that chalk. Alright, I'm just going to use, you don't have to use these type of brushes, I just find them nice, you know, to clean it up. There we go. As long as everything is dry, that way you won't smudge your paint. Make sure everything is dry. Wouldn't it be nice if we had a little bit of a glow around that? Wouldn't that be pretty? So I'm going to try this brush. And that's the soft, fluffy brush. Okay, it's a smaller version. And I'm going to put white paint and a little bit of blue just to, so it won't be too bright. Now, I don't know how it's going to work. I could ruin the painting. I don't know. We'll find out now. So I'm going to take some paper towel and I'm going to wipe off as much paint as I can. So I take my paper towel and wipe off as much paint as I can. I'm going to try this and see what happens. Oh, wow, too much. So you got to make sure you don't have very much paint. You don't have to do this if you don't want, but I like to try things. Oh yeah, nice. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, we're getting a nice glow there now. See? And then you can just scrub it on as if you're cleaning your brush and just twirl it. Okay, I had too much paint on that one for some reason. Okay, but no worries. I like that. A nice glow. So whatever's left over my brush, now I'll move it out. It's got a nice glow, see? Nice. Now this is tricky, so make sure you hardly have any paint on your brush. And if you got your tree already done, you can do this before you do your tree, but if you already got your tree, because I never told you this till now, because I'm always looking at it and seeing what else I can add. So if you go over your tree a bit right there like that, just go back in with the black and go back over your tree. But look at that nice glow. I like that. There we go. That's nice. I like that. Good. I think I'll add a few little stars. With too thick and white. To show you how these little details can really make your painting look nice. So, just looking around, see what I got. I got some nice little red flowers down there. Just wondering if I should, because I like to get harmony into the painting, maybe add a few little ones up here just to give it harmony, because if you're going to put red in one area, it's nice to put a little bit of red somewhere else too, just to harmonize your painting a little bit better. Just a little bit over there. Wait, I mean, because the moon is not shining down there. But anyway, I'm going to add a few, like I said, a few more over here, just to make the harmony. That's how you get harmony in your paintings also, by putting the same color in different spots of your painting. See, isn't that pretty? So I hope you like this painting. This is I enjoyed it. So great for Halloween, little Halloween project for you to do. We just get started and try our pumpkins, and I'll explain it all to you. So we'll turn this over to the pumpkins, which we don't have anything on there yet. This is 11 by 14 canvas. And all you have to do is draw your pumpkin on first. And that's what we're going to do. We are going to draw. I have an outline there because I don't want to be wasting time trying to show you, but here's what you can do. Just take a spot on your canvas that you want and you want to draw, and just first of all, it'll be easy to make like a stem. Well, we'll just make this one line first, okay? So that's it, just that one line. And then you're just going to make a point and then make another line. And then you got your stem. Now you can use your stem as a guide to do your pumpkin. So then all you have to do then is bring out a big old side. There we go, and down and around. And then bring out your other side, down and around. And we'll use the middle and the stem to guide us. We'll take the middle part and make a nice line down this way and a nice line down this way. That'll be the center of your pumpkin. And just put a little line in here to bring it up, okay? So when we paint it, we can start making shapes. So first of all, I want to get the pumpkin drawn on there. Just draw a line down here so you'll know where your shading is going to go. And a line down here. Good. So that's all you need, a rough pumpkin. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a decision on our background. So on our background, it would be nice to probably have a, let's see, maybe some grass down here, or sitting in the grass, and probably a sky or something up here. And because it's orange, the complement of orange on your color wheel is blue. And so you can have a bluish sky, and then on the bottom, because it's complementary of reds, and that's green, so then we can put a little bit of green down there. So let's take a flat brush, and just a medium-sized brush, anything at all like this, okay? And just damp it off, put it in your water, and tap it off in your tissue. And then all you're going to do is a blue sky. So, oops, sorry, didn't mean to beat you up. Okay, so we'll just do a sky. So all we're going to do is put some blue paint on the sky, and we will put some, so you can have any color, blue, anything with blue in it, and just, we'll work around the pumpkin here now with the blue sky. And then you can, I think it would be nice if we add a little bit of red to our sky, just give a little bit of a purplish color. So let's get on with the sky. So that's all there is to it, just paint on your blue. We'll add some white so that we can soften it up. See how that softens it up really nice? Right, just put your blue on. Perfect. So easy. So this is a happy Halloween from me to you. It's October the 8th, 2015. And we are going to get this really pretty sky up here. I'm left-handed, so sometimes my hand gets in the way, and hopefully this will work out for you. Just a simple little sky. You can leave some white showing through, like I showed you in my other videos. That way you got the sky and the clouds all in one. So I'm just adding, going back and forth with blue and white, mostly blue. I'm going to add a little bit of red, just to have a bit of a purplish color in some of it. Purple is a nice color. That's a nice complementary color to yellow. There's yellow and red in your color scheme. Yellow and red makes orange. So I'm just going back in with some more white. That's all. Just make some different colors in your sky. That's complementary to your, going to be your orange pumpkin. So that will be fun. Just experiment with it and have some fun. That's all. And so we'll keep going down and around your pumpkin. I don't want to spend too much time on one piece because I want you to start your painting. But you can always pause, and you can always fast forward and all that good stuff. So we'll just get some more white, a little bit of blue. There we go. There's my palette. I'll show you my palette. See, that's all. Just craft paints is fine. You can use whatever paints you want, any colors you want. Okay? So let's get some more white in here. So I want you to start making your own decisions, because a lot of you have probably been watching my videos, and by now you can probably make your own. I've seen beautiful paintings with you guys. Oh my. They take my breath away. You're so good. And I really appreciate you showing me them and emailing me, and the nice comments. Just makes my day, yes, for sure. And then we will put on the rest of our sky. I'll just add a little tiny bit of blue, just to, so there we go. And just go around your, don't worry about going over the lines this time, because you can still, as long as you can still see your lines for your pumpkin, you should be okay. So when you get your sky on, so it depends on how far you want to come down to the land part, we will stop. Okay, so we'll just go around the pumpkin. Let's go down to probably here. Okay, just a basic background, but something nice that will complement the pumpkin. Okay, so think of your complementary colors. Get a color wheel out and look up, you know, the oranges and reds, yellow, because red and yellow makes orange, and what complements. Now you know complement of red is green, so we'll be putting green stems and leaves and grass in there. That will complement it, your pumpkin. And when you learn to do this, or when you do this, you can add anything you want. You can add a moon, you can add, I don't know, a witch flying over in the background, anything that you want to put in there, more flowers, anything. This is your painting. It's up to you. You do whatever you want with it, okay? And have fun. So I'm just going to put in this very basic sky, all right? A little bit more red and blue just to give it some extra colors. Isn't that pretty? So you can do anything as long as the paint is wet. Keep the paint wet if you can. And that way you'll be able to throw in extra paint without losing what's underneath, because it's all wet and it's all blending. Okay, I think I'll leave that. That's fine. It's not, you know, I'm not going to spend all day on it. So you can make it as soft as you want to make it look as nice as you want, okay? So there we go. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if I can make a nice orange out of that red and yellow. And if you can't get the nice orange that you like, just use a pre-mixed orange, okay? So let's try that. So I'm going to get my big flat brush out. My big flat brush, I think size 12 Bristle brush, just to get it started. And I'm going to mix my colors. So you start with yellow first and a bit of red. If you start the other way around, you may not get nice orange, you might just get a really... Okay, so as soon as you get as close to that one there, then you can use it. If you don't like this color, then let's try a bit of white. Okay, so if you don't like this color, because sometimes it's really difficult depending on the paints that you're using to get the orange. So if you can't get it, just go into your orange. It's already pre-mixed, okay? Marvelous. So I'm just going to, so we want to make it so that we get a nice orange, okay? So I'm not getting a great orange there. So what I'll do is, just for fun, I'm going to add some of this orange to it. I'm just going to add it to it. Alright, there we go. Now that's better. So now we're going to shape up our pumpkin. So just take your pumpkin and start painting. Around and round and round we go. Okay, I just paint that the orangey color. You should still be able to see your lines underneath it. And just come around. Follow the shape of the pumpkin, okay? Follow the shape. So you can still see those lines there. Just follow the shape. Over and around. Over and around. Over and around. Over and around. Good. And now we'll do the other one. The other side. We'll meet in the middle. Okay, over and down and down and down and down, down and round. There we go. Round and round and round she goes. There we go. Follow the shape of the pumpkin. Good. Perfect. We'll do another line. Good. And in the center here, we'll just take the top of this and paint it in, and then go around. Follow that. You're coming to meet in the middle. Okay, perfect. Now we have our pumpkin started, and you should be able to still see the lines. Okay, so we may need to give that another coat. So you can do whatever you want. If you feel it needs another coat, just go back over it again when it dries. Or you can just keep adding a bit of paint to it now if you want. But I wouldn't, you know, keep adding paint, because it'll start to dry and then it'll bring up the canvas underneath. See? So now we got our pumpkin started. So now you can make any adjustments that you want to if the bottom part is not round enough. Mine's kind of gone off, but that's okay. I'm going to put some grass down here. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is we are going to do the stem. And the stem is green. So, I'm sorry, it's, let's see, what color can we make the stem? A really dark green. Let's get a smaller brush, okay, a smaller brush to work with for the stem. And then we're going to make a really dark green. You can add any dark colors to your green, like a blue, maybe blue to darken it up. Watch. If you add green and some blue, that'll darken it up nice for you. You can even add a bit of the complementary color red. That really gives it a nice toned down look. Isn't that nice? Okay, let's use that color. And then you're going to fill this stem in with that really dark color. The whole stem. There we go. Just get it all filled in. Perfect. I'm going to use a nice soft brush. It bounces back. It's like a sable brush. It's not a Bristle. And I'll just get a little damp, and then I'll put some green, the same color that we did before, green with a little bit of blue. Okay, darken it up. And then what we'll do is we'll fill that in with a second coat, and that'll make it a lot nicer. Okay, so then we can fix up this stem, pointy top, and we bring it around. And like you say, any adjustments that you need to make is a good time to do it now. So then you can bring it out on the side here a little bit. Okay, good. Now, getting our stem nice and cleaned up. All right. So, put some more here. So whatever it takes to make it the way you want it. All right, so we'll just get that done there. And now, what we're going to do is we are going to draw a leaf. So why don't we take a leaf, we'll just take it very simple, just take it out to pointy, to like a half a line, and then you take another one from this bottom and bring it out and up. It depends on how big you want your leaf, okay? So, and I'm going to get you to draw another line so we can half it up, so we can make one part of it nice and dark and another part nice and light. So here we go. So what I'm going to do is take my dark green paint that I used and probably a little bit of red. Okay, now, so I'm just mixing my paint. Okay, so just to get that nice green, I just took some green, added a little bit of blue, and I added a bit of red to get that nice dark greenish color. And some more green. Okay, so just take that and put it on your leaf on the bottom. Okay, if it doesn't come out green enough, just add more green. There we go. And then you just fill in the bottom of your leaf. Now, that's simple. This is your nice dark bottom. Okay, there we go. Good. Now it's going to need a second coat, as you can see. Alright, so while we're waiting for the second coat, we'll just only go into only green, and then you can fill that in with a lighter green. So in order to get it even lighter, you can add some yellow to it and brighten it up. Yellow and green. Brighten it up. There we go. So we got the top part started. This is just being started now, okay? So it's just an underpainting until we get the main details done. That's your leaf. That's just the start, okay? And now what we can do is we can take our softer brush and we will go over that again, and we will put on your lighter green. So I'm just adding green and yellow together, and I'm just going to take my leaf and shape it up. So I'm just going to pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back, pull back. Okay, so that'll get some leaves, make it look like a little bit of leaf. Just pull back, good. And then you can go back over it again. Simple. Okay, so that just gives you some shape. Alright. Alright. We may need another coat on that, so don't worry. So what I'm going to do while waiting for that to dry so we can put another coat on it, I'm going to take a yellowish green, and I am going to highlight the top of the stem right here, some nice yellow. Okay, so just go at the top of that and go around the top, and there we go. And then wipe off your brush. When you wipe off your brush, there's not too much paint on it, then you can, because we don't want to lose the shadow. We'll just rub on the rest of the paint there, see? Okay, so let's fill in the bottom part there again. So take your green paint, the dark color that you did, and go back over that again. So I just need some more green paint. Now, there we go. So I'm just putting more green paint on my brush, adding a bit of red and a bit of blue to keep it dark. There we go. I'm just going to paint over. Okay, so see, I'm glad I'm making this error, mistake, whatever you want to call it. The paint is not quite dry underneath here, so what's happening is it's pulling off the paint instead. So we let that dry more, so leave that alone. Let's leave that alone. But I'm glad I did that, because that will show you how you can pull off the paint if you don't let it completely dry underneath what you're trying to put on top. You only leave it wet if you're trying to blend the colors together. Okay, now here's a tricky part. So now we're going to try and straighten this up here. We're going to try and make some nice little shadows in here. I'm just showing you where the lines are. You can wet your brush, and then you can go back in and darken up that line so you can just see it with a bit of water. Okay, let's see what happens. And we need some more orange to go on that, to do a second coat. So we'll do a little bit of a second coat first. Let's just get that second coat on there. Okay, so just brighten it up, straighten it up whatever way you want to, get rid of your lines. Alright, so we can go up and down and put our orangey paint on here. Here we go. I can still see my lines, hopefully you can too. And if you can't, if you lose your lines, then you should be able to remember where they were. That would help. So we're just going to put on a second coat of orange just to give it a nice full bright look. Nice and orangey. I'm getting a little bit of color on my brush because I didn't clean it good enough. So I kind of don't mind making some of these mistakes, if you want to call them mistakes, because then I can show you how to fix them, or you know, what you should or shouldn't do. But anyway, so let's just go over that with orange. Your orangey color that you mixed, whether you mixed it with red and yellow or if you just picked up the right out the tube orange. Okay, and then you're going to go up here and adjust this. Now you can take your time to adjust everything that you need. When I'm trying to do videos, I'm trying to do them fast, and I'm trying, you know, not to take too much time, but making adjustments is very important in your painting. All these little details, and that's what makes your painting look so good. Okay, we're getting some nice orangey color. See how nice and thicker it is now? There we go, lots of orange. Okay, I got the leaf down over that part there. That's okay, and we can do that too. And we'll put on our orange color. Now we got it all nice and wet too, because we are going to put on some shading. Okay, so we'll shade it up. There we go. Straighten up your lines, and any lines that you can see, you can go over it with a third coat if you have to. Okay, so now why don't we add a little bit of brown to our orange. I tried orange using the complementary colors, but it didn't get dark enough for me, so we're just going to add a bit of brown, and just take that bit of brown and go on the line that you made. This is why you want your line, and shadow that line up There we go, just to get some shadows to make some nice shapes to your pumpkin. Okay, so just like that. Good. Do another one. So it's just orange and brown. Just add brown to your orange to darken it up a little. And we'll add another one. And I'm using my sable brush with the chiseled edge to get in there. So I'm just bringing it down again. Go over it a couple of times just so that it'll spread out a little bit for you. And then we'll do the other side and go with the line, go with the shape of the pumpkin. There we go. That's right. Just, it doesn't matter if it goes outside because they're shadows, so we want them to fit in with the pumpkin. So here we go. Another line. Let's darken up that line a little bit more. There we go. Okay, so we got a few shadows. Now wipe off your brush. Wipe it off and just go around the edges of those to soften them up. Okay, just soften them up and go to the left side of that and just, or go over it and just spread it out a little bit. Okay, spread it out. Try to catch it before it dries though, because then you won't be able to get it to move. Okay, just go right over it with your clean dry brush and just spread it out. There we go, clean dry brush. No paint on your brush, just use the paint that's already on there. So there we go. That's not too bad at all. So what we're going to do now is we're going to get our Bristle brush back. And we will get our Bristle, let's say a medium size like this, okay? Bristle, cool. Now just wet that if it's dry. And what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush. And I think that should, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the orange again. I'm going to add some brown to it, same as the shadow color that we just made. So orange and brown. Okay. I'm just using basically half and half, okay? Just to see, you'll have to probably judge yourself how much shadow you want and how dark you want it, okay? So I'm going to take that and I'm going to wipe it off in my tissue because I don't want too much paint. I want to be able to see what way it's going to come out. So I'm just going to take it on the bottom here and I'm going to pull up some shadows. Pull up, pull up. Now there's not too much paint on your brush, so that way you can't ruin it. If you get big blobs of brown, then it's hard to change it and fix it. So putting some shadows down the bottom here will make your pumpkin look more round, okay? So let's get some shadows in. How far up you want to go is up to you, and how dark you want it is up to you, okay? So this is just me trying to get the shadows in for you. I don't want to overdo them because then, all right, so just come underneath and go up, underneath and go up. Follow the shape of the pumpkin. Same thing, just shadows just to give it some depth so it looks round, okay? You want it to look round. So you can bring a little bit up here, just great. You can see I don't have very much paint on my brush, just a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so that you're just dry brushing your shadows on, okay? Just whatever's left over on your brush, just pull them up or pull them down. As long as you go in the shape of the pumpkin, they should look really nice. So I'm just going to put a few here and there, okay? Sometimes I get a little bit too much. All right, but I'm not going to. There we go. So you want to darken it up even more. Put more brown than orange on your brush and then just pull up again. Make sure you don't have too much paint on. As you can see, I'm getting a bit of a blob there, so make sure that you don't have too much paint on your brush. So let's continue with that until you're happy. And when you're happy, I'm happy. So, like I say, you can have as much on as you want or as little as you want, all right? So that's okay. So we can probably add a little bit more just to give it more depth. So don't forget to wipe your brush off, get as much off as you can, and then pull some more up. Just pull up in the same shape as your pumpkin. All right, I think I'm not going to put too much more on there because like I say, you can put on as much as you want. Now, we'll leave that. And what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take that really nice, take a nice brush, go back to that sable brush, we'll call it, because the bristles are not bristly, they're nice and springs back, but they're so smooth, really nice. Let's go into some yellow, and let's take yellow and highlight this top up here, okay? Just highlight the top up here, just to give it a little bit of light. See all these little details? It'll bring your pumpkin to life. There we go. Some more yellow. Just put it on there. Perfect. And you can bring it down into the pumpkin a little bit. Good. A little bit up here again. Up, 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 up. Okay. Yeah, and you can bring it down into your pumpkin. Whatever's left over on your brush, then you can just smooth it down. Whatever is left over on your brush, okay? Don't reload, just bring down whatever's left over on your brush, just to give it some highlight. All right, that's just a bit of highlight there. Now let's put a little bit of highlight on the top of your, right here, because you already put some lighter green on, but now we're going even lighter again. So all these little details, right? All these different values of color. So you got really dark green, you got a medium green, and you got the really bright highlight. You can also highlight this one again. So you can put that back in here like this. Just scratch it on. Now because we need a second coat there, go back into your green and put that in there. Okay, and then you'll have your highlight and your greens. We can go back in with some more highlight. You can put your green on first if you like, and then put your highlight on again, because that really needed the extra paint. All right, looking good. So pull out some of these lines here to make it, give it some shape. Up-de-doo. Up-de-doo. I know, I'm being silly, sorry. Okay, so let's get this up here. Coming along, we'll put some more yellow on that. Let's get that dark underpainting there. Let's get that back in there. There we go. That nice dark color there. Perfect. I like this brush because with the chiseled edge you can get up around lines. All right, so we'll keep that going. There we go. Now, what we're going to do is fix that. Good. Perfect. And you can also pull out a few of these lines. As you can see, you've got to go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth until you're happy with your painting. Okay. So now I'm going to put a little bit of yellow on top of this where I took it out. Little bits here and there. Just pull back on those lines. There we go. Just move it in towards your leaf. There we go. If you want more or less, you just go ahead and do. I'm just trying to give you some ideas. So if you want more or less highlights, that's great. All right, so what we'll do is we'll take, let's see, how about a big old brush, a big old Bristle brush, make the grass, how's that? So we're gonna make the grass there's your Bristle. We're gonna make green, and we'll add a bit of complementary color red to it. Just tap into your green, tap, 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 and red, tap, 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 and then tap somewhere else to get the color you're looking for. Okay, so there's, you're toning it down a little bit because we're going to do highlights on it. Maybe a little bit of blue, okay, and green. We'll get a darker color. So here we go. So all you got to do now is just start wherever you want. Probably if you're right-handed, start to the right, and just tap. Okay, tap, 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 tap. All right, go and get some more paint. Tap, 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 tap. Put some grass up around here. Tap. tap away. Okay. Good. Tap away your grass, just to get something there to say you got some grass around your pumpkin. Tap, 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 tap. All right. Put your colors together and put them on there. So now your pumpkin is in the grass, so we'll just put the grass around. Let's tap into our green again. Okay, green and a little bit of blue, just to darken it, keep it a bit dark. So green and a bit of blue. Okay, so just more green than blue, okay, more green than blue, and then just tap on again. See, when you tap over what you already did, that will thicken it up really nice. And so just keep tapping and tapping and tap, 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 tap. There we go. So we get some nice pretty grass. You can also pull up a few little bits of grass here like this. All right. And then you can come in here, get some more green, a bit of blue, tap around the bottom of your pumpkin, pull up a few little bits of grass. There we go. All right, so we're going to keep doing that until we get what we're looking for. Just going in and darkening it up. All right, you can see I got a bit of blue there. So as you go around, you put some fresh paint on there. You just bring some grass up around your pumpkin and up around here. Some more green, a little bit of blue. Okay, so tap, 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 pull, tap, 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 pull, pull. There we go. Tap and pull, pull, up, up. All right, so we'll do that. Good. Now, while we're waiting for that to dry a little bit, I'm going to do a few more touch-ups on the pumpkin. So let's go back into some yellow, and we'll touch up this a little bit up here, just a little bit more. You have as much as you want. Just a little bit here, okay? I just love doing highlights. Just a little bit of yellow, just to bring it to life. The more highlights, the more details, it really brings it to life. So that's why I love doing them. Just scrape some of the leftover paint that you have on there, just scrape that into your leaf. Perfect. Anything left over on this one, you can just drag that into there. Perfect. And let's put some more yellow up here, because I like this brightness up here. It's nice. Okay, so bring your yellow up here on the top. Whatever's left over, you can just drag it down into your pumpkin. Now see where the paint is dry underneath? Well, then you lose your orange, because it's dry. So when the paint underneath is dry, then what goes on top obviously then covers it up. So just say you're painting and you lost too much orange and you're like, oh, what do I do now? What you can do is go back in and clean your brush off, go in and get some more orange and just put in more orange back into where you feel like you lost it, okay? Just bring it back in, that's all. And because all these little details, you can play around with them. On the very end, when you get the main drawings done and the main paint in there and you get everything in order, and then when you got almost all of it done, then you can go back in and do some highlights and shadows and all kinds of good stuff. So I'm just going to leave that there like that. And then what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you how I'm going to make some squiggly lines with my liner brush. See that? It's a liner brush, or it's called a script liner brush. I think script liners are longer than the liner brushes. I have, shorter brushes here. But for now, we get this started. So let's pull through some yellow and some white and a little bit of green. Okay, so I got some yellow and white and green. I just pulled it through on my. I just pulled it through, like pull it through, pull through, pull through, pull through. Okay, and then just pick a spot where you want some of these squiggly lines. Pull out and, ooh. Okay, that didn't work out, but that's okay. Not to worry. See, I don't worry because I guess you say I have some confidence because I paint so much. So I don't think I can fold it up, and yet I could. But anyway, I'm going to try again. Just going to pull up and make a squiggly. So you can make a few of those and make, let me see, let's drag one up here. So it only goes to show you need lots of paint on your brush. Lots. Okay, so we'll take that one up and around. And around. Maybe a couple of smaller ones. Okay, so let's add some more white to that one. Probably try another one. Just take it out from here and make a few squigglies. Just to give it a little bit of fun. Okay, you don't have to do that, but I kind of think it's cute. So while we got that going, rub your brush through yellow and green again. And this time, bring up some of these two grasses like that. Just pull up a few. There we go. Pull through, lots of paint. As you can see, you need lots of paint. Okay, so just bring up a few of these. If you won't move, dip your brush in some water and then go back in and get your paint. And you don't need to wipe off your brush this time because you want it to move better. Okay, so bring up a few of these little, there we go, just a few. Okay, now, there we go. So if your paint won't move, we'll try it again. Just pull through the green, pull through the yellow, and pull up, pull up, pull up. Some might be falling over, so you can go to the left and go to the right, and up in the center, left and the right and the center. Okay, we'll just leave that. Now what I'm going to do is with the grass is I'm going to get a fan brush, and that way you get to use a fan brush. So I'll get my fan brush once I can find it here. Okay, here it is. Okay, so take your fan brush, tap it into some green, okay? Tap it into green, and then just tap some grass around here. Okay, so then we're going to lighten that up again. So just tap, 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 tap. Some grass all over the place. Good. So keep doing that till you get what you're looking for, and we'll add some yellows just to brighten it up. Okay, there we go. Just tap around your grass. Good. So just keep doing that all over the place. And you get a bit of grass going on there. I'm just tapping a little bit hard just to get some detail there. There we go. Bit of green, bit of yellow around here. Pull up, touch, tap, 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 and pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up some of these grasses here. Pull them up just to make it look like grass. Okay, and just keep tapping away. Very easy. All right, there we go. Just keep tapping away. Just to make it look a little like, you can push a little hard, not real hard, but a little hard so that it doesn't look like just lines, so it looks like grass or little things going on there. Okay, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up, pull up. Perfect. We're almost done here now. So, and now when I'm finished, you can add whatever you want to it. Okay, I'm not going to go on to much more. I'm just trying to concentrate. My main thing to teach you today is how to do a pumpkin with a little bit of grass around it. I'm not really trying to get into any other things. I can do another video on that, but we want to call this finished soon. So, there we go. Some grass is going on. Pull them up around wrap around the pumpkin. Good. So that's about it. Now you can add whatever you want, and I'm just going to show you that if you take a brush, a big old brush, this one here, which is one I got at the store, and it was in a painting part of the store, okay? So those brushes are great for making these nice little flowers. So I got a better one here. Look, it's got better top on it. So did I move that on you? Sorry. I don't have much room here. Okay, so I'm just going to dampen that a little bit, and then I'm going to go in and find some color. I'm going to put in some red. I got a bit of other colors mixed in. And look, you get some of the tops really, and you can just throw in some flowers here and there. That's all. Just simple little flowers. Okay. And so when you do that, you can even put some down by the pumpkin. The flowers. Don't have to be too much, you know. You just dip into probably some yellow, and whatever colors are on your palette, and then you get some nice pretty flowers. Okay. So I'm going to leave you with that. I think I got everything done that I wanted to do, and hopefully that was a help to you. So the first thing you want to do to get this painting started, this Halloween acrylic painting, is to get a canvas, 11 by 14 or whatever size you want, and paint the whole background red. And to make your moon, all you have to do is get yourself some kind of a round object, which is could be a tin, could be anything that's round, and set it up where you want your moon, and you want to leave lots of room on the sides, just so that you can have room for your witch and your house and your cat. And then you take a piece of chalk and make your moon just by getting it the way you want it, and then just go around your round object, make a nice round moon. Good. Now, there we go. See? Pretty simple. Now, a Filbert brush like this, synthetic chiseled edge, would be good to use, because then you can get around the circle. Okay? So what we're going to do, the reason I did the whole background red was because it makes it much easier to work around the circle. Now you only have to work around the inside instead of trying to work around the outside and the inside. So it speeds up the process, and it works pretty good. So sometimes you do your background, you may need 2 coats. With the white paint, this will bring a nice white background to your moon, and then we'll put the yellow on after. So we want to get a nice, because the red might come through, we'll just do white first and get all the white on, and then we'll put yellow on, and that will be a nice basis for your yellow. That's coming along. So these chalk marks on the outside, you can take them out with a damp brush when you're ready. So you might want to keep working on the edges there till you get them perfect the way you want them, nice and round. There we go. Just take your time. Get the edges nice and round. Good. Now to give it a bit of an eerie look, because it is Halloween, I'm going to mix up a little bit of purple. Now you can have your own purple already pre-mixed, or you can make up some by adding red and blue together. Get a nice purple. Nice and dark. A little bit on the red side, so a little bit more red than blue. And I'm just going to take my same brush. I got a Filbert synthetic. I'm just going to add a little bit of dark in the corners here. Just a touch. I'm just going to touch and pull in. Touch and pull in. Touch and pull in. Just a little bit. You don't have to do this if you like it the way it is, but just thought I would show it to you anyway. Just a little bit here and there. Good. A little bit of darkness up here. Gives a kind of an airy feel to it. And shadows. Good. Just go right straight across. And I'm not pushing very hard so my red paint will still come through. Just very gently. Get that little bit of an eerie look. And come down here a little bit. Just whatever's left over on my brush. And if I haven't got enough, I'll pick up a bit more. And I'll just come in. I'm barely touching my canvas because I don't want to put big blobs of black on it. You can also water that paint down if you want to just put on little bits. Okay, so just a little bit here and there. See? Alright. It kind of brings the moon out a bit better too. I think that's enough, but you can put out as much as you want. Just want to make it into a fun painting. So, when you're happy with that, then you can start on adding the different things that you want to put in there. So I'll show you a couple of things that I'm going to do, and you can also add your own. So all we need is the handy dandy chalk again, and we're going to mark out some things that we want in there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tree in here. So I rather do it this way first. That way if I don't like it, I can always take it out. I can always wipe it out and restart. But you want to make a tree that's kind of squiggly, so it looks kind of scary. And you can bring it over the moon like that. See? And that way then you'll be able to put in some really nice branches. Some branches coming down over the tree. Some branches coming out here. And then you'll have little branches coming off the bigger branches. You want to leave some room over here for your witch. Okay, good. So we'll just make some lines here. These are just markers to help you decide where you're going to put your tree and your branches and how many branches you would like to have. So we'll put some more up here. Good. So you can have as many as you want. Good. So get as many chiseled edge brushes that you have there, so you can try out different ones, see what works for you, and some liner brushes, okay, for the smaller branches. So just get some pure black paint right from the tube. This is one way you can use pure black paint. The blacker the better because it's a silhouette. And just put some paint on both sides of your brush. Alright, and make sure it's nice and chiseled edge. And then because you have those lines there, it should be much easier for you to get. So standing on your chiseled edge, follow that line. Touch, push and go over that line, and this will be your tree. It's okay to see the chalk marks, so we'll get rid of those after. So as you're coming into the moon, lift up a little bit on your chiseled edge to make it even thinner. Okay? Might be a little tricky. You might have to practice first or whatever. You might have to do it. So try to do it your best so you won't have to, because once you go in your moon, if you have too much black in there, it's hard to correct. So let's just go here, pull up, and as you come in, pull up, make it thin, and then up here, and make your lines a little squiggly. Alright, so there we go. So the chisel edge is doing great, as long as you lift up a little bit. I have another one here, so just touch on the chiseled edge, and don't push too hard this time because you're into the moon, so you want it nice and thin. So just barely touch your canvas, just be gentle and easy, and let those good. Get a few of those in the bigger branches first. That's what you're doing. You're getting the bigger branches first. And we'll put all those little tiny squiggly ones on. Alright. Just as many as you want, as long as you leave some room for your witch to fly over the moon, or your cow, or whatever you want there. And a bat. Whatever you can think of. If you want to make this a little bigger, you can. Good. See if there's anywhere else you want it. Just stay on your chiseled edge, you should be okay. Alright, so these lines here that I'm pulling out are just going to be for our little tiny ones. Now for the small ones, let's try a liner brush. So you may have to lay your hand down to get the smallest you can. So just pull out some little tiny, see? Very gentle. Good, so little tiny ones coming out. Now if you're having a problem making those little tiny edges there with a brush, you can also use a marker, a black marker. Okay, so, or a pen, but it'll have to be black. So now we're going to continue on with making some objects that you want in your Halloween. Now you can do whatever you want. You can have a castle or anything you want. So I'm just going to make a little hill here for a little house I'm going to put over here. Just going to make a little hill right here. That's for a cat right here. The house you can draw yourself. Just make a little roof like a letter A. And we'll just make a couple of squiggly lines coming in and out and in and out. Okay, and then you can also make a couple of little windows and a little door. So there. So we'll paint that in now. So just get your black paint on a small flat chiseled edge brush and paint that in. Now, like I said, if you want to use black markers to do some of the black, if you find it hard doing it with a brush, you can certainly use black markers, you know, but if you want it to be an acrylic painting, use paint. Or you can use an acrylic painting marker. This is an acrylic painting marker. I hadn't showed you in my another couple of videos I had there on easy, quick ways to do a painting and save time. So these are great for, you know, for lining out small areas, but if you want to try it, it makes it so much faster. And it is acrylic paint, so it will act as acrylic paint if you need to blend it or change it in some way. But I do find they're pretty good, but I don't think they're as black as the acrylic paint itself on the tube. But you could try it, you know. And so you can go right over that without worrying about, because some people have a hard time working with a brush, especially if you can't work with your hands real well. There's some people who can't work with their hands real well, you know. So I find my hand shakes also. So at times, you know, with small areas, trying to keep things. But getting around that window would be a help to have a marker. See? You can shape up your house whatever way you want it. Okay. There we go. It's a funny little house. That's okay. Okay, good. So when you get your house done, then you can start on that little piece of ground that we have here and just take your chiseled edge brush. I wouldn't do this with the marker. I'd use the paint on the bigger areas, because the marker doesn't. It's a nice marker and everything, but I think it dries a little more flat than the tube paints. So, and it is a little easier. You won't get too many streaks with your brush. But any small areas you want to use, your markers or pens, black pens, anything black. Okay, just go over there like that. Yep. It's just a small area just to give it, see those chalk marks, they can come off easily. Just to give you some idea. Here we go. Coming along. So now make sure your painting is dry, and what you're going to do is you're going to get clip art. You can print them off on your computer. Go to Google and search for Halloween clip art. And this is a nice little bat that I found. I just cut it out, and then I'm going to lay it down where I want it. I'll leave some room for my witch, and I'm going to tape it down. So I'll tape it down so that it stays, and then I'm going to use a bit of carbon paper. I just cut out a piece of carbon paper. Okay, and then I'm going to lay it underneath here, and I'm going to take a pen and I'm going to trace it out. Now, you might be able to draw freehand if you're the kind of person who don't want to trace anything and you want to draw freehand. You go right ahead. I want to do this because it's faster for me doing videos. So I'm just going to trace out the outline, and then when you get that done, all you can do is paint it in black. See how easy it is to do these little, it's almost like little crafts, and You could do these on dishes and wood, fabric, you know. You could do these little, doesn't have to always be on canvas, it can be on anything that you can paint on. And then you could make your own crafts. Right, let's see. Yeah, almost came out. Sometimes it won't go through, so you have to go over it again a couple of times just to make sure. Before you take it off, just lift it up and make sure. Alright. Good. Now that you have that drawn out, all you have to do is take a small brush or your marker. I'll let you decide what works for you. And just paint it in. Make sure your brush is nice and small, or your marker, so that you can get around, get the shape. Good. Get that in there. Make sure your painting is dry before you move on to each part, because if you're laying your head down, you're going to get paint on you, and you're going to smear, see? And you're going to smear it on your canvas. So make sure it's dry. But you know, now when you're doing videos, you forget sometimes. Good. Alright, let's go in here and up here. And we'll get this little guy or gal drawn in. You might find it a little easier using a marker, but make sure the marker doesn't smear. You know, make sure it's a permanent marker or an acrylic paint marker. Okay. Good. Funny looking bed, isn't it? Alright. Now, see, so you get that done, and then you can move on to something else. So get your clip art off of Google, and whatever, you can put ghosts in there, you can put whatever you want. Just get the clip art. That will give you ideas also. It'll give you lots of ideas of what to do just by using clip art. So I can also, I'll get the witch done, and we'll do the same thing with the witch. You just get your clip art, put it on there, trace it out, paint it in. Same with your cat. And right now I'm going to do a pumpkin for you. So just take your chalk again. Anything you want to draw, just use your chalk. Just put in a couple of circles, really. You know, let's see, maybe just a indication of one there, one here, maybe one here. Good. Then you got a stem, some leaves. You want those. I'll just make a simple one. There we go, I can see it better now. So I just drew them out with chalk. So you can see it. It may not be. Alright, good. So just mix up some yellow and red together and make some orange. I don't even have it totally blended. I just went into some red and some orange, some yellow, but you can have orange that's already made, pre-made. We want that a little brighter than the background. So that can be down under the hill there. Good. Try to get as bright as I can for you. Just get those pumpkins orangey color. I'll just, maybe I'll come over here a bit. Yeah, there we go. There we go, round it up a bit. And the rest is behind a tree there. And there's another one over here. Now they may need a second coat, okay? You work on them as much as you want. And I'll just get you started. There we go. So I'll just get you started, and then you can put in whatever you want, all different kinds of clip art out there. Give you lots of great ideas. Headstones, ghosts, bats hanging upside down from the tree. Great bit of fun. Sit down with your kids and come up with ideas with your kids. Let them pick out the clip art and put it into place. So all you need, once you get your red background done, you can also have a green background. Your moon will always be yellow or white, but your background can be green or blue or red, whatever color you want, as long as it's a little bit dark, not a really bright color. But yeah, and then you can sit down with your kids and or yourself, and or with some friends, and pick out the clip art and decide where you want everything. Make up your own Halloween crafts and things. It'd be fun. So when they dry, I'm going to give it a second coat, get it more orange. Okay, and then we'll shadow it up. While we're waiting for that to dry, I'm going to take my small round brush and I'm just going to put on the tops here, stem, and your leaves. Now everything is black because, well, except for your, okay, so, except for your pumpkins. So have that in a little bit of a brighter color. So you can have them black or whatever color you want. Alright. So, nice little stems here. See, just make your leaves by little rounding them off like that. Little edge to them there. Good. Alright. Don't know how you can make them scary, but there we go. Good. Off that same brush, get everything off there and put some yellow, that yellow and white mixture that you made on your brush. And then put it in here for your windows. Good. And up here. Now, like I say, you can do whatever you want. Maybe this little rascal here has a couple of eyes. Touch. Oh, I need more paint. So, a little bit of yellow, and maybe a couple of little eyes. There we go. A little cutie. That looks better, see? A few little details. Gives it a nice look. It's coming along. Okay, so I got my carbon paper still, and I got some more clip art. Cat and witch. Now you can have whatever you want. Like I said, pick up whatever you want to put to yourself. I angled the witch as if she's going up towards the moon instead of straight across, so that made it and traced it out. See, just put your carbon paper underneath, like tape it on, and then put your carbon paper underneath. Use a pen and trace it. And if you're more into freehand, it's pretty simple to draw those, but I just want to do a little faster for you so I can get this done for you. So then when you're finished, take them off, and all you got to do now is simple as pie. You could use a marker or your paintbrush to paint in these shapes. So all you need is a very small, flat, chiseled edge brush if you have one. What brushes that you've been using. I like the Filberts. They get a nice round top and that helps get inside shapes. And then just go ahead and fill it in. Okay, I'm going to try a small round brush this time. So what I'm trying to show you is that you should try different brushes. See what works for you. Okay? Small round brush is pretty good as long as you can keep up against the lines. If you have a hard time staying inside the lines, and that's when you need to probably use your marker or chisel edge brush, okay? So just do your cat. There we go. Good. Now if the cat's feet didn't come down to meet this piece of land here, all you got to do is get the land to come up and meet with the feet. There we go, see? Simple. So not to worry. We can make it all fit. Good. See how simple it gets after. Once you get that background on and you get the moon done, once you get that done and you are happy with it, then you can add anything you want just using the clip art. Or freehand, like I say, you can draw some of this stuff. And it's fun to draw your own because you can say, look what I did, all by myself. But for the sake of the video, I'm just going to do it as fast as I can for you. And you can even change your clip art. Like, I found the ears can be a little bigger on the cat than they were in the clip art, so you can make changes. See? These are royalty-free clip art that I looked up on Google. You don't want to get into using somebody else's if they don't want you to use it, so just look up royalty-free or Pixabay. Anything that's royalty-free or copyright-free, just want to, or make up your own. So, just going around the tail. Good. Now, all I got left to do is, I'm going to put some eyes in the cat, and maybe, I don't think I need anything on the witch. So a little bit of highlighting and finish off the pumpkins, and then we're done. So it won't take you very long to do something like this. So you can do 5 or 6 of them for Halloween. Okay, here's the fun part. We'll work on those pumpkins in a minute, but the fun part is to add some white and yellow together on a tiny brush, tiny liner brush, and some white and some yellow. Just mix it together, and what you're going to do is get the glow from the moon, and that will really bring it out nicely. So let's start with the tree. So just on the very edge of the tree, bring up a line. Start wherever you want and bring up a line right on the very edge of that tree. Okay, Now if you can get the line nice and skinny, that would be great. Alright, so right on the edge. There we go. See how that makes it nice and bright looking? Good. Get some more. And we'll go, let's see, up around here. Then try to figure out where the light is coming from at the moon and on the tree. So that's there. And there's probably some underneath here. Oops. And here. And maybe here. So wherever you want them, really. I'm going to try another brush. That brush is a bit, it's making my lines a bit thick. So you have to move around different brushes. If your brush is not working for you, you don't have to stick with the same brush. I'm going to try this one here. See, because I'm finding that that other one's giving me, my lines are too thick. Alright, so I want to show you this stuff. I don't want to just carry on and not show you what's going on, because you might need that help. So just get some lights going on here on the edges of your branches, and that will make it look like they're nice and bright and the glow is there from the moon. You can also, now the things that are already in the moon, no need to do that, just leave those. But with the cat, you also want to maybe put a couple of eyes there if you want. There we go. See, just touch. And just do the edge of the cat's tail, because that's where the moon is shining on the tail, right? And on the back, maybe there's some up here on the back. Alright, maybe there's a little bit on the ears and the head. Alright, see, I don't think there'll be anything here. Maybe it's coming through, just shining on the back of his leg. I'm not sure, but use your imagination, decide where you think that moon glow is on what parts of each thing that you're doing. So I'm not sure, but it might be, you know. It's going to be on the edge of these leaves. And this one. And this one. And this one. So it really brings it out nice. And also on the edge of, probably the edge of this little arm here, little wing here. And maybe on a little bit on the edge of the broom here. So you just use your imagination and see where you think it might be. And now we definitely want some on the edge of the house. So just take the edge of the house. I know you have your chalk lines there, but you can wipe them off. Alright, so where your chalk lines were, you just put your paint, because the chalk lines will wear off anyway eventually. You don't want that to happen. If you're using the chalk for highlights, that's no good. So I'll put paint on there. Good, and you got your windows in here, and you got your lighting there, and also there might be a bit of a light on top of this little hill. So there we go. So just get an orangey colors here for your pumpkin, and then you just need a little bit of shadow to go on those to make them look more. So just put a little bit of dark shadow by using a purple, a deep purple, and shadow here between these two so it separates them. Just putting some shadows in. Good. And trying to make this one look like it's overlapping right here, so I'll put a little shadow there just by making a bit of purplish color, just to make it look like that's separated right here. And a few little, maybe I'll use black just to get some. There we go. Start in the middle, pull out, pull out, pull out. Just so you have some tops. Touch, pull out, pull out, pull out, pull out. And make a little bit of a shadow here. And here. And whatever else you want to do with that. And then you're going to put a little bit of a highlight on the edge of this one over here. And that's it. I can't think of anything else. There's lots more you can do, whatever you want to do with it. So I think that's kind of nice. So you can do whatever you want with your Halloween painting. Put more bats in there, some ghosts, whatever you want, and you can have a cute little painting for Halloween. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, then if you enjoyed this video, you can give me a thumbs up, or you can ask me any questions about this painting. You can also share my videos. That would be a big help. And that's a cute little painting for Halloween now, see? So don't forget, there we go, all kinds of things going on there. And there's a lot more things can go on, and you can make up different ones and add different bits of clip art. So that's cute. So you have a happy Halloween, everybody, and have fun and enjoy your day and your painting day. And I'm going to sign out from Allison Prior. See you in the next video.